For the last online exercise, return to the library's listing of business databases, and we're going to work with the Mergent online database. So I'll pause for a minute or give you an opportunity to pause the video. If you're not yet there, please do that. Okay, so Mergent Online gives us an opportunity to look up information about specific companies. Previously, we were looking at a research resource that provided articles and printed information about different topics. In this case, we're going to do some research about a specific company. We're just going to focus right now on the basic search option, and in the search box you have to either enter the company's symbol or the company's name. By symbol, they mean the couple letters that are used to identify the company on a major stock exchange. So for this purpose, we're going to use John Deere, and their stock symbol is DE, an abbreviation for them. And so we can see here that DE is on the New York Stock Exchange related to John Deere. So I'll click on that. Brings up a lot of information under a number of tabs. What we're going to do is just explore and explain what some of these are. The first one to look at is on the left-hand side of the screen where it says pricing summary, and this shows their stock price, in this case for the past week. Stock price is for their common shares of stock that the company has issued, and the price is determined when there's an exchange between a buyer and the seller. In general, the more profitable that somebody believes a company will be, the higher their stock price. So let's change it from 1 week to 1 year. And when we look on that, it seems like John Deere was doing pretty well, right? Started around 84, got up to about 96, 97, and then we can see in the last couple days it took a real drop. I think some of this had to do with concerns about the economy in China, and maybe as a global company they're exporters to China. Will there be issues with that? So time will tell what happens to their stock price. And as you scroll around the page, you can see some information about executives, financials, some information about company news. I'm going to return to the top of the page and click on the tab labeled Executives. Under Executives, there's 3 options. One shows you the company officers. We'll look at that. You can see some names. In some cases they have salary, age. Companies have to disclose the salary for their 5 highest paid employees. So that information can be used to enter the salary. Companies also disclose names of other important executives, though if they're not in the top 5, we won't have their salary. Under directors, they're a corporation, right? So stockholders elect the directors, and the directors are responsible for the overall operation of the company. They hire president or CEO and provide direction about how it's to be run. And the third tab, committees, this relates to the board of directors, and in order to better manage the company, the board of directors is broken down into different types of committees. So for example, the audit committee deals with financial reporting and the external auditors. The compensation committee deals with executive compensation. The corporate governance committee deals with what we might call the tone at the top, or ethics within the organization. So it's a list of people who are responsible on the board of directors for managing different parts of the company's operation. We'll now move over to the company financials tab. And this gives you a lot of information and a lot of options as to how you want to better understand their financials. Notice, for example, that you can look at information either annually or quarterly. Notice that you can pick the type of income statement, balance sheet, retained earnings statement that you want to look at. Notice that you can also pick time periods for displays, right? So in this case, it defaulted to annual information, 1031, 1031, 1031. They don't have a calendar year. They're on a fiscal year. It's for the balance sheet, and it's for 5 years. The currency is US dollars. Where you see audit status not qualified, that relates to the opinion that the auditors issued on the financial statements. And it seems like awkward wording, but not qualified actually means a clean opinion. The auditors did not have any problems with the financial statement. And if you look under scale, and on the left-hand side of the screen, we have an option to change the scale. So they originally reported it in thousands, meaning that 3 sets of zeros were omitted. If I change that to millions and hit refresh, notice that it's, instead of being rounded to thousands, it's being rounded to millions. Under company financials, there's a button for ratios. So if you click on that, you'll see that a lot of the common ratios that you might have seen in Accounting 157 or other courses are already computed for you. So we have ROA is return on assets, ROE is return on equity, right? The current ratio, as you see where I'm holding my mouse over the help, says it divides current assets by current liabilities. It says the current ratio should be 2.5, is desired for industrial companies. I'm not so sure that's the case, but from the looks of this, since the current ratio is less than 1, John Deere has more current liabilities to pay in the next year than they have current assets. So what this database is giving us is a lot of ratios, things that would be a little bit time consuming to compute, but lot simplified here. I'm going to go back to the as reported option under company financials. And I'm going to look at the balance sheet, and I'm going to change it to 3 years. So I have to hit the refresh button. And I'll leave it in millions. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see an option that says Download to Excel. So this is a nice little feature if you wanted to do some analysis that wasn't available online. You can get the financial information in Excel and complete your work. So to show how it works, I'll click the download icon, I'll click Save, I'll click Open, and here you see their financial statements already in Excel. If I scroll down a little bit, I'm going to highlight in yellow total assets, 61 billion, right? 336 million. A little bit further down is total liabilities. A little bit further down is stockholders' equity. Notice they don't give us, for some reason, stockholders' equity plus liabilities. So I'll figure that out real quick. $61 billion, 336, 61 billion, 336. It's the same. So, and again, right, we have a lot of ways to put their financial information in Excel. It'll make your analysis easier. Move over to the news column, and it gives you a way to look at key news items that have been reported or announced by the company. And it shows news for the last 7 days, right, 14 days, or 30 days. And you can scroll down the list and see the kind of things that are available. Then the last thing I want to talk about is this report builder. This is kind of interesting, right? It gives you a way to select information that's been made available under these tabs, and then you can export it into a report such as Word, Excel, or a PDF file. So you might select the items that you want and then have a custom report available for that. So to demonstrate, click on Company Details, go to Synopsis, Pricing Summary, and we want to pick 1 year. Go to Company Financials, we want to look at the last 3 years. You have to scroll down a little bit. And income statement. And then go to ratios, annuals, last 3 years. So those are the things that we're interested in. And in order to get them into the reports, they have to be moved over to the right-hand side. So I'll click on the arrow, and the company details, right, the synopsis, the income statement, and the ratios are now going to be pulled into the report. I've selected the Microsoft Word format, and hit Create Company Report. And now you can see a lot of information about who the company is, their business summary, what their stock price has done for the last year, some news items, who the executives are, some of those key financial ratios, some key financial statement items. And since this is in a Word document, you're able to edit it, adjust it, get it into any kind of format that you want. Finally, included in the outline is a request that you return to the basic search, do a search for Caterpillar, and locate some information to answer a couple questions. So this will be the last video for our class this week. I will next, or probably on Sunday, be sending you some information about what to expect on the quiz. But if you are familiar with how the two databases operate that were discussed in these videos, you should be in good shape. So thank you for listening. Look forward to seeing you on Tuesday or Thursday.